Hello, what's up, you all? If you're new here, welcome. I'm Chardeney. I'm a podcaster, videographer, and creative entrepreneur. And today I'm going to be talking about the difference between UGC creators, influencers, and videographers. And then at the end, give you all a few tips on how I got started and the steps I took to become a UGC creator. Now, I'm going to be straight up, keep it 100 with you all, and share with you all my content creation journey, because in the beginning, I was confused as and to be honest, I had every right to be. And I think for anyone who's out there and you're in the early stages of content creation, entrepreneurship, it's pretty normal for you to be confused. We probably need to get a t-shirt made saying confused as fuck, because I feel like it just comes with the territory. So the term content creator is something that has become more socially used because now it's more common for people to be full-time YouTubers or pursue careers in social media. I would also like to add that even identifying yourself as a creative is a newer term that has become more popular to use as an identifier within the past 5 to 6-ish years or so. But if you take a step back and squint your eyes just a little bit, it's basically an updated marketing term for an artist.
Now keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Before jobs that had titles as social media manager, content creator, or influencer manager, I actually was an assistant to a creative director, and basically I've been doing this kind of thing for a while. And what I mean by this is I knew I liked working with audio and video. I enjoyed filming and editing it, but I was still trying to figure out what was my lane. I had already seen how people and brands were using social media professionally. So personally, in my own experience in the beginning, I struggled with creating content just for fun versus creating videos for self-promotion, whether it be for promoting for my podcast or for my freelance videography business. As a true millennial who has grown up alongside the internet, I've just been kind of playing double dutch with the internet, trying to navigate how do I engage with people online. Do I use it as a place where it's strictly professional? Will it be personal? If it's personal, how personal are we talking, or will it be both? Also, I like to share, when I graduated from college, I realized that some of these companies were just making up their own names, titles, and descriptors, especially as startup companies. It was like they were literally pulling job titles out of their back pocket. And this can be very confusing for any young adult, especially if you are coming from a background where you aren't familiar with non-traditional roles or just being exposed to the latest terms or labels being used within certain industries. I think it's similar to how we go through certain periods and times where you all can remember, or if anybody can remember or relate, let me know in the comment section below. But at one time, the term trailblazer was very popularly used. It was commonly used throughout a bunch of different things. Even like right now, the term soft life is a term that's being commonly used. And I think in most industries or companies or just marketing terms, we go through periods and times where certain words are buzzwords or things to describe a certain type of role. So I'm creating this video for those who are aspiring videographers or content creators, or for those just trying to make sense of the types of videos floating around out here on the interwebs, because it's a lot of it and it can be easy to get caught up in the mix. I think this chit chat might be helpful and give you all a breakdown for anyone who's out here interested in trying out a creative side hustle, but not quite sure which area is your area of interest. So let's get into this breakdown. UGC Creators stand for User Generated Content. UGC is content created where you, the user, films a video of yourself or someone authentically engaging or experiencing an event, impressions of a product, or using something as is. An example of a UGC video is an unboxing video where someone is unwrapping something for the very first time, someone chatting about their experience going somewhere, tasting food, etc. The purpose of UGC is to just show how you are interacting with the person, place, or thing. The intention of UGC creators is not to sell or convince you to buy anything or go somewhere. It's simply to share your experience. To my understanding, UGC creators are people who make content that drives awareness and engagement. Well, at least that's my understanding of it. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you think differently. Now I'm going to take a quick little pause and share with you all my own personal experience into UGC content creation. For me, it was a light bulb moment where I had to realize not everything is created for the aesthetic of things. While there are very much so companies who will have you create content so they can repurpose it for Instagram or to run it as an ad, but also there are companies that hire UGC creators so that way they can pass videos or photos off to the product development team within their company so that way they can have an understanding of how to design something better, to get an understanding of how people actually use something, to figure out if something is functioning properly. And it's so important to not get caught up in the aesthetics of things or compare yourself to other creators, because the intention of a UGC creator can be used for so many different things. And it was a light bulb moment for me because I had submitted an assignment and I was super critical of my work, and I was thinking like, oh, like the lighting could have been better, it could have been this, it could have been that. And when I submitted it, the person that I was submitted to, they were like, this is fine. You did exactly what we needed you to do. And the biggest thing is to just understand the assignment and deliver on what they asked for. Don't try to do what everybody else is doing. Authentically show people how you are engaging and interacting with the product. You never know how a company may utilize your video. Now, if they tell you this assignment is specifically so that way they can use it on Instagram to run it as an ad, then act accordingly, whatever that means for you. But at the end of the day, don't take your assignment and try to create something else that you've already seen. We already have that out there. Create things based off of your own personal aesthetic. And for me, that was a moment I had to unlearn the programming of working within this industry. As I mentioned earlier, I have done a lot of social media marketing or worked on a bunch of different creative projects, and it's so easy when you either work in a certain industry or you overconsume social media or overconsume what other people are doing, you kind of get stuck, or you can get stuck on a certain aesthetic of things. And at the end of the day, just create for the purpose of creating, or understand the assignment and deliver on exactly what they ask. Now, moving along to an influencer. An influencer, on the other hand, one of their primary roles and purpose is to persuade, sell, pitch, or convince people why you should go somewhere, encourage you to buy something, or to drive traffic, attention, or awareness to something. Most influencers get a commission, a portion of the proceeds from the audience they bring in, or some sort of monetary exchange. Essentially, a modern day virtual salesperson. In my opinion, UGCs is like the trial and error phase before becoming an influencer. In all honesty, you should be getting paid for both, but that's not always the case. And again, they can easily fall under the same umbrella. Just look at them as different marketing terms or labels. To give you all an example, think of Band-Aid. Band-Aid is the brand and bandage is the actual item. And another light bulb moment for me was I was listening to, I believe, Raven Elise podcast, and she gave this as the exact example. A lot of things have different labels or terms or things that are just used for marketing purposes. So at the end of the day, they both do the same thing. One is just more commonly referenced than other. Now, let's get into videography. A videographer typically gets hired to film other people doing stuff. That can be a wedding, an interview, a podcast, a birthday party, music video, whatever. That means the person is not in front of the camera and they are hired to film other people doing stuff, and they are not the primary person being featured in the video. Now, what was confusing for me was each of these categories had an aspect of creating a video. I just didn't know which one I wanted to pursue in the beginning or how to get started. For a moment, I thought I wanted to be an influencer, but then I thought to myself, I have no desire to convince anyone to do anything. I just want to make dope shit, maybe inspire someone, and live my best life. And if I'm being really honest here, I thought it was cool that influencers got free stuff, but I still didn't like the aspect of promoting something or trying to sell people stuff, because people work hard for their money, and I'm not trying to talk anyone into anything they don't necessarily need, because now y'all, there are some people out here who can sell you a car on bricks and will convince you that those bricks will roll. And I'm just not into that. In the beginning, I thought that's what I had to do. And I thought I had to be salesy. I thought I had to stick to a certain aesthetic, or I thought I had to submit a certain type of video, or something had to look a particular way. But it's so important to constantly expose yourself to other creators so you can learn there is not just one way to do things, and you get more comfortable learning how to create your own lane, and you get comfortable creating things that feel most natural and authentic to you. However, when I looked into UGC Creators, I realized you can still get free stuff and sometimes get paid, and also get some of the other perks influencers get, but minus the pressure of being a salesperson and having your income depend on likes, comments, and other data. Now, this took me a while to differentiate between those two. And there are also even CEOs or business owners who kind of interchangeably bounce back and forth between being an entrepreneur and influencer. And I know other creators recognize it, because I've even recently seen someone I follow discuss this very same topic. Even the term ambassador is also another term used for an influencer. From my perspective, it's simply an alternative form of marketing for businesses and brands. And all I would say is, don't get lost in the sauce getting stuck on titles, labels, and names. Figure out what you want to do and pursue that wholeheartedly. If you're not a solo entrepreneur and you're going the more corporate route, look beyond the confusing title and comb through the job description and check off if the role is what you can see yourself doing on a day-to-day basis, and if you have the skills necessary for the role that you are applying for. There's even examples of my confusion that I'm expressing if you go back and listen to some of the podcasts I created earlier on in my career, or watch some of my older videos if I still have them public. But anywho, y'all get my point. I had to learn. I had to learn my way through this. So that's why I'm sharing this with you all. That's also another reason why I create these behind the scenes videos, because it's a learning process. Things change. Marketing terms are always used for different reasons and things of that nature. And all you can do is learn and share your experience. And I'm the type of person that I'm like, I'd rather learn something instead of experience it the hard way. So I share my experience with you all, so you all don't have to experience it the hard way. Because once upon a time, there was a true fear I had, because there was content I wanted to create just for fun, but I would get in my own way and overthink that my employer or prospective client would judge content I created just for fun, and they would potentially think my fun videos was a reflection of my work. And I would overthink the entire process, and I didn't want to create a community online where I just put out only my portfolio worthy videos or content, because once you start producing and creating at a certain quality or level, now you kind of have to stay at that top tier quality or level, or you can unintentionally put this pressure on yourself to constantly perform at a super high level rate. And this may be unpopular opinion, but as a creator, if you don't want to experience burnout, produce at a level that's good, but also at a level that you can maintain as an artist. So as a creative, artist, storyteller, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, I simply want to create and have fun, and I don't want to be put inside of a box. Life is not all about working, which is why here on my personal YouTube channel, you will see a mix of both personal things and professional things. I'm currently in the process of sprucing up my professional channel for those of you who only want to see just the good stuff. But over here on this channel, I like to keep it chill. It's a place where I'm hoping I can cultivate a creative community that can just talk about navigating life as a content creator, videographer, or creative entrepreneur. So if you're interested, make sure you go ahead, subscribe so you don't miss out. Subscribe over there, subscribe over here. It's free. Go ahead, help your girl out. And also, at some point, I may have to start charging y'all because I be dropping some gems on my channel. And if you are thinking about getting into any form of content creation, the first thing I recommend is figuring out what is your desired way of communicating online. Do you like to write? Do you like to talk? Do you like to make videos? Now, take a step back and look at each platform and figure out which one you want to dive deep into and pursue it with everything. I know most people probably clicked on this video because you want to get free stuff, figure out how to become a UGC creator or become an influencer because that's the new thing to do at the moment. That's the new kid on the block, and I get it. So I'm going to share a couple companies I started out with and my strategy to get into it. First things first, I built my IG to get over 1,000 subscribers. Literally, as soon as I got 1,001, that's when I started applying to UGC companies and applying to be a creator because that is the basic requirement to become a UGC creator for most of the companies that are out there. I used Instagram Reels to do that, and I also participated in some of the new features early on when they launched so my posts could get the most visibility, and it turned into new subscribers. Now, I didn't do it for long because ain't nobody got time for that. Once I got to literally over 1,000, I Googled UGC companies and applied to be a creator. The two I first started out with were B-Roll and Mini Social. They are not sponsoring this video, but I'm just personally sharing with you all the two companies I started out with. I think now you can even Google UGC companies and apply. It's so many of them out there now that it's really that easy is to just look them up, look at their requirements, and apply. It also helps that I know how to take a quality photo and kind of have an eye for the types of videos people are looking for. So I think it was both the numbers and the quality of my work which got me into UGC creation pretty early and pretty fast. Once you sign up, that's it, you're in, and based on how the company operates, you apply to work on different projects that come up, and it just kind of takes off from there. Now, I can't give you all the sauce. You all got to go out there and get your own because this video would be extremely long if I gave you all an in-depth breakdown, but I'm currently working on creating a Patreon because when I do share info, it's valuable, and for the longest, I've been sharing info for the free. So you all can see that from my past videos about podcasting or videography, my podcasts that are out here on the interwebs, and all that jazz. So that's all I have to share with you all for today. I really hope this is helpful for you or for anyone out there considering stepping into content creation or pursuing a creative side hustle. I really recommend that before you get into it, just observe and take note of what you're interested in and then come up with a game plan and just start doing it. Now, there's a fine line between being a one-trick pony and niching down and also looking like you are all over the place. So again, figure out what your thing is. Don't be afraid to say you are trying stuff out and go for it. Let me know what type of industry you are in or what lane of content creation you are thinking about pursuing in the comment section below. Or if you randomly stumbled across my video, say what's up in the comments. That's all I have for now, and I'll catch you all in my next video. Bye.